PhysioZenia. I'm a physiotherapist based out of Calgary, Alberta. This is movement prep for the pelvis. You're going to start in a 4-point position with your hands about shoulder width apart and your knees shoulder width apart. The base movement is what they would call a cat-cow position in yoga. We're going to tweak these positions by addressing them in the sagittal, forward and back, frontal, side to side, and transverse rotation planes of motion. First, we'll address the sagittal plane. In that sense, you can take one knee forward and leave the other knee where it was. Continue the same base movement of cat to cow as you go. Make sure you do this on both sides. Next, you'll address what's called the frontal plane of motion. So you can take your knees out and your hands out into a wider position. Repeat the same motion. You can also combine those two planes of motion. So in this sense, we'll start with hip and shoulder width apart. We'll have one knee forward, one knee back. And then we can go into a wider position. So there's the two together. Once again, make sure you do this on both sides. So this time I'm going to take my left knee forward. They're nice and wide. Same. Finally, you're going to address the transverse plane of motion or going in a circle. So if you think about tipping your pelvis forward, if it's one big circle, kind of like the same way you would tip a yogurt container or an ice cream container, and scrape out the outsides of the container with a spoon. Similarly, you're going to think about moving roundwise or clockwise in that kind of position with the pelvis. Obviously, make sure that you do this both in a clockwise direction and in a counterclockwise direction. For this one, you'll probably want to start with your hands and your knees about shoulder width apart to begin with. And then I'm going to switch directions. And that is movement prep for the pelvis.